Good morning, y'all. We are back with our stove cover that we cut and stained yesterday. So you want to first get your screws out. They are these here. If you cannot read it, it is number 8 by Everbilt 1 1/4. Definitely need you a Phillips head screwdriver and a drill. This is the bit that I use here. You could really use any size, but that's my preference. So first thing we're going to do, you want to get your arms. And I'm going to adjust the camera so you guys can actually see that versus me. And you will just kind of move this one to the side for now, because the first step is you want to make sure you have this lined up exactly at your corner. So right here, we are going to make sure that this meets exactly at the point, and then it's really important to make sure your sides are there as well. So once you do that, this one's pretty good. You can take your finger, make sure, and then don't forget to go around to make sure. We will then grab our drill. We're going to do 2. This is how that will look once you get your holes. And then be sure you don't go all the way through, because you don't want any holes on top of your stove cover when it's complete. So from here, then we're just going to take our screws and begin screwing this in. Don't forget, make sure it's lined up correctly, because if it's not, at the end, it's not going to work. Okay. So each slat basically will have 2 screws on this side. And once we get this first one down, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to slide it into view. So we can see here, we're going to get our other arm and do just like you did the first time. Get it measured really good. Make sure everything goes smoothly around. And then same process. 2 more screw holes with our drill. And then we are just going to begin drilling, or not drilling, we just did that. We're going to go ahead and start screwing our screws in from this point here. Once you get it down, you'll be able to build these stove covers in probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. So don't get discouraged when you do your first one. It gets easier and quicker every time. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and I am going to do my other 2 screws, and then we'll take you to the next step. Okay, y'all, we've got our 2 screws in here, 2 here. So now it almost looks like a picture frame. So now from here, you just keep on going down. Some people prefer the method where you start here, let's see, and work your way down. I do not. As long as you've cut everything perfectly, you shouldn't have any issues. So then you're just going to line it up. And you always want to make sure your prettier side's on top. So here's how our front looks. And then we are just going to begin the same exact thing that we just did and get our screws lined up. And we'll do this 2 more times, and then I'll show you how to do the handles and take you to Cricut for customization. As you're doing this, I always push closer and tighter, so to make sure there's no gapping in between my slats, if you will, for your stove cover. As you're screwing down, if you notice it starts to get weird, and you'll know what I mean when I say weird, you can't turn it anymore, take your screw back out, because you're going to end up stripping that. So somehow, some way, it got a little bit unstraight, so we're just going to go back in and re-screw this one. Okay, and if you hear the sound of the wood, don't be worried. This screw, if you get the 8 by 1, well, it's number 8, 1 1/4. Excuse my bunny, he wanted to be part of the video this morning. That was gray. But as you go through the wood groove, sometimes it's super hard, but just keep on going and apply that pressure, all your pressures in this hand here to keep it down. And then I like to, where my pieces are coming, rub my hand over. Make sure it's smooth. If it's not, you need to kind of tighten up that screw a little bit, because it's going to interfere with your design when we get to the customization part. Okay, y'all, we should all be at the same spot. We should have our 3 pieces so far, so we have 1 more to go. So just wanted to make sure everybody's is looking the same. Here's how we're looking from the front. And you can see that everything matches up with each other, and it is a smooth surface for whenever we get to video 3, where we're going to be using the Cricut. Alright, so we're putting our last screw in, and I want to show you I did an error where my handles are longer than my stove cover. But don't worry if that happens. I'm going to take you out to the saw. We will be using a table saw, and we're just going to shave that down and get it even. So just remember, you're going to have to stain that part. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about as soon as I get this last screw in. Okay, so here's the back of my cover, and here's my handles. So obviously that's not going to work. So we're going to run out to the saw together and get it right, and we'll go from there. Alright, y'all, we're outside with the saw, and like I said, we're using the Ryobi table saw. Not sure. It's 8 1/4 inch is what I'm using. Anyway, so all you're going to do, it's easiest if you flip it upside down. I start with this end first to get that out of the way. And all you're going to do is your stove cover wood right here. That obviously is your line. So let's go ahead and get this done. And don't forget, I forgot to tell you guys, you have to sand all of your edges, or the customer will have splinters and be upset with you. So I'm going to turn this all on so we can get these arms shaved down. Always stop the saw, remove your little piece, and now you can see, other than me needing to sand, we're exactly right. So we'll do the same over here with this one. Okay, I'm going to cut the saw on again, guys. Okay, wait for the blade to stop. Trash. Alright, y'all. Now here is the final stove cover. It's totally complete. It was built with a 1x6x12 from Home Depot. This is stained gunstock by Rust-Oleum. And so basically, real quick, I know if you followed the video yesterday, you already know this. You take your board, every 30 inches, mark it, 60, 90, 120. Once you get there, you've got your 4 pieces for your stove cover, because it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you go to 42, which would be 142 on the measurement at that point, and you will cut it at the 142 mark. That will then be your handles. They're going to be shorter than this, and then you take it and get it assigned right on here, add your lock, and then you just slide them right down the middle so you can get that even side. If you have any questions, let me know. Follow me for new things. I'll be doing planter builds, some custom signs, different holiday stuff. Anything you want, just let me know.